at Dad's garage working on the 69 Chevelle. You can see behind me, hopefully. Today it's oil change oil, change filter, change the filter in the trans, change the fluid in the trans, change the differential fluid, the plugs, the wires. We're going to put an HEI distributor in and a few little odds and ends. But first and foremost, we're just going to get all the fluids changed out and take it for a peel, hopefully through the subs, make sure everything else is okay before we continue. So I'm going to get this started by doing the oil change. And I ask that you please subscribe to the channel. So let's get started. All right, so we got the oil draining, trying to get the filter off, but for some, it's stuck on there pretty good. So I'm still working on that. But the concerning part is the bolt for the plug for the oil pan. Let me show you what we found. So what we have here is from the oil pan. You can see it's all sludged up, which that's pretty common, I would assume. But look at all those metal shavings. So for right now, what we're planning on doing is just changing the oil plugs, start it up and see how it sounds, and kind of go from there. Hopefully it'll at least last this summer before it blows up. Okay guys, so we managed to get the oil filter off. It was on there pretty tight. We had to use a wrench, an oil wrench or oil socket with a a breaker bar to get it off, probably because it's been on there for God knows how long. So now we're in the process of just getting oil in it, and then we're going to change out the plugs and start it to see if it runs any better. All right, you guys, I'm sure you can't see it, but we got all the plugs on the passenger side, change it out. We're going to do the driver's side, and then we're going to start this thing up and see what happens. All right, so we got the pan pulled on the transmission. We're getting ready to change the filter out. It's going pretty good. Those bolts aren't rusty because everything's been leaking, so everything's coming apart fairly well. So that's comforting. So let me show you what we got going on here. So there's the trans pan. Looks kind of gunky, but considering the car's been sitting for close to 30 years and probably never been changed. So we'll get it all cleaned out, a new filter on it, put it back together, and hopefully it'll last at least this summer. All right, so you can see here, got the trans pan all cleaned up. Inside looks good. The outside, well, it's old. It'll work. It's pretty solid. So next, get the filter out, switch the filter, and get it back in. All right, guys, a little something I found interesting. Turbo 350 trans filter I never dealt with, but you actually get a gasket that goes on the filter right here. So if you're changing it out, don't forget to put that gasket on. All right, so we got the transmission filter changed out, and it's all put back together. We just got to put trans fluid in. So now we remove the differential cover to do the rear end. Show you what that looks like. So there it is. I didn't see any chunks of anything. I can show you I'll show you what the gear looks like next. So there, the cover's removed. There's the ring and pinion gear. It's gonna change out the oil for now. Didn't see any debris inside the housing either, so that's a good sign. All right, day 2 being at Dad's house working on the Chevelle. Just got to put the differential cover on the rear end. We got it drained, but we didn't have a gasket, so just got to clean that up, get the gasket on, put trans fluid in, and then go from there. All right, everybody, differential's done, trans is done, oil change, oil filter. So now we're just gonna hopefully drive it down to the end of the driveway, degrease the engine compartment, and drive it back. So it'll be the first time it's ran under its own power in basically 30 years. So let's see what happens. So obviously you gotta fix the door handle. All right, here we go. that door. All right, here he goes. Hopefully it'll move under its own power. Woohoo! It's moving. It's stopping. And he said that the brakes actually work. Big day today. A little farther. Put it right here. No, that's good. All right, well, do what you gotta do. Whatever you want to do. Maiden voyage. Yeah, she's smoking. All right, so a little update. We got the car back in the garage, and now we're in the process of, what are we doing? Sorry, it's been a long day. Taking off the air conditioning unit so we can get the intake manifold off so we can clean the intake manifold. We're gonna change out the distributor to HEI, and plus it's got some ticking. I'm wondering if a lifter might be collapsed or something, so we're gonna take a look at the valve train too. All right, we're back at Dad's today working on the Chevelle. You see it in the background. We're gonna, we have the intake off. We're gonna clean up the intake, check the push rods and put it back together, and then hopefully get it back up and running and take it for a cruise. So there's the intake is off. Just gotta clean the surface up, put it back on. I cleaned this up as best as I could with the wire wheel. Looks better than it did. All right, so you can see we have the gaskets just dry fitted right now. We just wanted to make sure everything was lining up and good to go, which it is. So now we can get ready to put the intake manifold on. All right, so at this point we have the HEI distributor in, we got the intake on, and we're just starting to hook up some of the lines and get the plugs done, valve covers and carburetor, and it'll be running. All right, so this box contains the valve covers and whatnot my dad ordered, so thought I'd do a little unboxing for you. Check it out. Here's his fancy valve covers that he ordered. See what they look like on there. Well, there you go. Go ahead. All right, here we go. We got the wires all done up with the new looms. You can see the looms. Real joy. So over and all, looks a lot better. Seems to run better. Still got to put a timing light on it, but moving in the right direction so far. So next time you'll see it, hopefully she'll be driving down the road.